Our next story here is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Dropping Off My Stepkids with My In-Laws and Saying That They Are Not My Problem Anymore? My wife passed away just before last Thanksgiving. It came out of nowhere and I am somewhat broken. To make it worse, my stepkids have decided that since I'm not their father, they don't have to obey me anymore. They are teens and they have never been my biggest fans. They love their dad and I was only ever their mom's husband. However, when Dina was alive, they treated our home well and me with respect. After she died, they became assholes. Yes, I know their mom died. It sucks. But that was my wife and the mother of my children. I am also having a tough time dealing. Their parental grandparents are also shitting on me for not being more understanding of all they are going through. I have tried. I have offered them counseling. I have given them space. I have been there for them. I am at my wit's end. The last straw was when they were over there for supper last week. I said it was time to go so I could get the littles to bed. My stepkids said that they didn't want to go and that I should leave them and come back for them. It is a 2-hour drive. I said no. Their grandparents said I was being too hard on them and that I should let them stay. I'm having a hard time with 2 small children, the loss of my wife, and 2 teen assholes without having my in-laws pile it on to make my life more difficult. So I did. I also packed up their stuff. Instead of coming back for them, I dropped off their stuff at their grandparents' house. I have 2 kids under 5 to take care of. I don't really have time to baby 2 teens that are just making my life harder. My house is clean for the first time in weeks. My kids are sleeping through the night. My stepkids are living with their uncle in the same city as me so they can finish high school with their friends. Everyone on their dad's side is against me. I really don't care. I was told by both of them and by their father that I am not to try and parent them. So I'm not. I actually do not have any parental rights over them. Their dad was not even okay with me being a contact for them at school, so his parents bear the contact. My wife left behind a small life insurance policy, which I will divide between the 4 kids, but I was the breadwinner in my house. I bought pretty much everything there for the last 8 years, so now it's all mine. My in-laws are calling me an asshole for abandoning the kids, but I have 2 kids that need me more. The older 2 have a dad as well as grandparents to help them. My kids do too, I guess, but they also have me and I want them to have a peaceful home. Relevant info from OP when asked why the kids couldn't live with their dad. OP says their father works at a FIFO, fly-in, fly-out mining camp. He has no permanent home. Their dad has never made them a priority and stopped paying child support when their mother passed away. The teenagers have their share of their mother's life insurance. It was split 4 ways for all 4 of her children and added to their education funds. Okay, so this is a situation of mom passed away. The 2 teenage kids she came into the relationship with, they decided that they were going to start being bigger assholes. And I say bigger assholes because OP was never allowed to parent them. OP was never allowed to discipline them. And after mom passed, bio dad here said that he didn't want OP to parent his children, but he did want them to house them and pay for everything and be their chauffeur places, right? But not have the ability to parent them. No. And then the grandparents here, the in-laws, yes, they're making life a hell of a lot harder by saying that he's being too hard on them by saying that it's time to leave because their younger siblings have to get to bed. I mean, the position that he's in is incredibly difficult. It is a Kobayashi Maru. There is no winning here at all. But he's not their bio dad. And I wouldn't even use the term like bonus dad in this case because they never viewed him in that way. They never viewed him. They were only respectful to him when mom was alive because it was an expectation of hers from the sounds of it. So what the hell is he supposed to do? He's fighting against them here. And if dad is against him, but unwilling to parent them and step up. If grandparents are against him, they're the one group of people that do have the ability to actually care for them. And in this case, this is a choice that the kids kind of made by default through their actions and through their behaviors. And so did the grandparents. The grandparents made this choice too. And if they feel enough pain while they're there to understand that they need to change their approach and want to come back home, if that's what they view as home, then I think they'll make that change. That pain will create change. I understand they just lost their mom and they're going through shit too, but everybody in this world is. Everybody in their sphere is going through shit and is dealing with loss. Everyone. They can't act like they're the only ones dealing with things there, just like OP can't act like he's the only one dealing with things there. Everybody is. In this situation, he was not given the ability to parent these kids. If you cannot parent these kids, then how the hell are you supposed to be responsible for raising them? I don't think you can have them live with you and be responsible for them without having the ability to parent them. It's as simple as that. If they are going to live here, if I'm going to be responsible for caring for them, caring includes parenting. It includes it. It's an all or nothing there. You can't say that I want you to pay for them, to house them, to be their chauffeur, to feed them, to give them everything, but you will not discipline them. You can't say, you cannot give him all the responsibility, but none of the tools to actually make this whole thing work. It's fun. The funny part about this is that everyone had an opinion. Everybody who had an opinion didn't want the burden of raising them either. Dad didn't. I mean, because of his job, couldn't, but also didn't. Grandparents, they better learn because they're there now. So they're going to figure it out real quick. But man, being in his position, I think he has to have the top priority of the littles. And I understand that. His top priority is the littles. And I think he made the only decision that he could make. And if they want to change and come back home, they will. And they're going to realize that they can't treat him the way that they've been treating him. And they can reach out to rebuild that bridge. They're teens. They'll figure it out. Oh, the grandparents pawned the kids on the uncle. Stepkids are living with their uncle in the same city as me so they can finish. Okay, yep, you're right. Yeah. So they can finish school with their friends. I mean, I feel bad for these kids because they lost their mom and now they're just in limbo, right? But they have to understand that they can't just treat people like shit and then expect them to do them favors. And in this position, that's exactly what it was. They were thinking that they could just treat him like shit because he wasn't their real dad and mom was gone and he still had to do everything for them. Well, he doesn't. And this is a lesson that they have to learn in life right now. And hopefully they don't treat uncle like that. Or uncle's going to be like, go back to grandparents. And then they're going to have to make the 2-hour drive to take them to school every day and come pick them up every day. And then they're going to understand how shitty it was of them to make the statement they made in the first place about dad coming back to get them. Oof.